man. That man cooked food today.
I had to watch it. Hey, y'all gonna get in here. We finna get this tea going.
Man. Dude cut the food today, man.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. All right. So
I gotta go to your page and share it.
yeah. Just go to my page and share it. Hey, y'all, make sure y'all get in here.
Check.
Yeah.
Sound good.
All right.
Yo.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, man, y'all make sure y'all gonna get in here. We definitely got some tea coming on this one right here.
Special guest.
Yeah. Let me know when y'all boys good.
I'm good whenever y'all. I'm straight.
You already said it.
Yeah, I'm doing it now, though. But you good, though.
All right. Hey, man. Y'all make sure y'all check in, man. We got Pham here today, and we definitely finna jump in Urban Tea. And we got some good questions some good content that we finna cover about just entrepreneurship. You know, like we just gonna talk about a lot about entrepreneurship, how you know, like start from the bottom and man, you just take it to the next level, and how, you know, perseverance is everything, you know, like how you get to the next level, man. So we got a couple questions we got for Bao, man. We gonna just jump right in.
Hold on, before we get started, Bob, to kind of get the audience to know, a visual of yourself. Just give them a little
Well, I
backstory.
appreciate y'all inviting me to the podcast.
Definitely.
Word.
You know, if y'all don't know who I am, my name is Pham. I've had a studio in Montgomery since 2009. It's called Mixology Recording Studios.
Yeah.
And just been an engineer for a long minute. And I left in 2018. But in between time, you know, I work with Doe Beat, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Work with pretty much damn near everybody, even C-Mill.
Exactly.
You know, with the beats and,
Yeah.
you know, just recorded and mix and master a lot of people as well as like other people in the industry. So,
I know. Like, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. Bao, man, when I first came to Montgomery, just to, you know, speak highly of how strong his name was in the city. Like, man, when I came here, like, when I was doing the beats or doing the music, man, I just kept hearing this person. They just kept saying, Bao. I'm like, man, why y'all calling him, who Bao? You know what I'm saying? They were like, man, he like Asian or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Like, man, he dope. So when I finally, yeah.
turn mine up.
Yeah. All right. What number you?
I'm 3.
All right. Yeah, man. But like, man, they just kept saying Bow. So I'm like, man, who is this guy? So, man, when I finally seen him and finally met him, man, I'm talking about, man, dude always like he just was ahead of the game, man. I remember like back this like 2012, he was like a pro on Pro Tools then, like making you sound good, like, man, the beats, making it, you know, every time I talked to him, man, he always was talking like EQ and then stuff like that, man. It was just like, I always wanted to be around him and just suck up the game from him, man. Like, he definitely a pioneer in the city that I always looked up to. And, man, like, it's just always been genuine every time I get around him, and dude always had good energy. So, man, I'm glad to have you on the show today, man.
No doubt, man.
Yeah.
Welcome on, Doc.
Definitely.
Thank you.
All right, so, man, we're going to jump in this thing, man. So, all right, Bob, first question. How do you think AI will affect the music industry within the next few years?
It's gonna change everything.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna make things easier.
Yeah.
And it's gonna make things difficult.
At the same time.
Yeah. So easier meaning that you can create without any issue.
Yeah.
You can create music from a prompt.
Exactly. You don't even need the artist no more. You don't, like, man, the voice, from what I'm hearing, it's damn close. It might not be all the way there, but
it's there.
Yeah.
Turn mine up some more.
Yeah.
I turn this thing up so high.
Oh yeah. What number you at?
Check. I'm a 3.
All right.
It's jacked all the way up.
Oh yeah, I got you. Here you go. Let's see.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
I ain't know nothing about that.
Yeah,
So
we
you
make,
know.
Yeah, yeah.
You teaching me something.
I got you. You know.
But
yeah.
yeah, it's gonna change everything. Like it's. I mean, I think it's already been here.
Yeah.
You know, there's a dude named Colin Leonard.
Okay.
He does all the mastering for like all the big shit that you done already heard.
Yeah.
And he has a online site called Aria Mastering. And so like you submit your finished mix, and it's supposed to be like a robot to go and turn all these knobs, EQ, compression, limiting, all hardware, and then you run your song through there.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you print out 2 or 3 different versions of it. So it's already been here.
Yeah.
It's just now I just feel like it's tightening up a lot more. It's just we're just now getting exposed to it.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So I mean, I use plugins now that are kind of AI based. They don't call it AI. They didn't call it that then.
Exactly.
But you throw on an EQ and like it'll EQ shit for you.
Exactly, man. So that's why it's so crazy to me, like that. How you feel about those mixes? Like when they do the like just the quick. How you feel about them mixes? Like when you hear them, like is it do it be close or do it still be kind of still need some tweaking? Or how you feel about it?
Well, I ain't heard no AI mixes yet, but there was a site some of my friends sent, and one of my friends think it's some bullshit because they hiding behind like, well, you have a 2 or 3 day turnaround, so like they just utilizing the word AI to get business. Okay. So they can just go ahead and mix it on their own end because like it says this is AI mixing but with a human touch at the end. Okay. So that really ain't really AI shit. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So I mean, it's not there yet, but like the voice cloning is already there. And you know, 2-3 years, you know, I don't know if I would say I'd be out of a job because it's a lot of the shit that you know mixers do is like trying to evoke some type of emotion or feel, you know what I'm saying? So like you send like a rough song to me and you want it to feel a certain way. Yeah. A computer doesn't know how to feel yet.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying? Whereas for a producer, it might be different because you can type up a prompt and it can sound like a real loop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, you know.
And when you talk about feel, man, I was like, you could tell the difference, like when an artist first come out, all right, he gonna have a more gritty feel. And then once he get, you know, kind of universal or whatever, you know, once he get bigger or whatever, you could tell it get cleaner. It's still, you know, and it's hard for them to get that grit back into that mix, how it was back, you know what I'm saying, when they first came out. So that's a big thing when he talk about feel, and man, like just to talk about bow with the feel, man, like this the man behind like Dolby, Let Me Find Out, you know, the mix, all them mixes and stuff you was hearing coming out of Montgomery and everything. Even probably now, what percentage you think you moving now?
I don't know. I mean, I get a lot of people still.
Yeah. I'm talking about
maybe about 30%.
Man, hey, you know I'll tell you, like, man, if you wanted that mix in the city, it was only one place to go. Mixology Studios. You got to go holler about if you want that mix, if you want that sound the way it's supposed to sound. But, man, like, all right, we're going to jump on into another question. What has been the biggest contributing factor towards your success, you think?
Just consistency.
Yeah.
Consistency, and that's it. I think that's like for anything.
Right. Word.
You know, being consistent, you know, you are your daily habit. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? So what you do every day is who you are.
Exactly.
So I've always wanted to do producing, but like engineering was the one to make money. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm not trying to say I did all this shit for money. Yeah. But it's something I did every day.
Exactly. You gotta monetize it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta monetize it.
So that's what I did. You know, that's what I do every day still. And, you know, I just have a hunger for learning and trying to perfect the craft. You feel what I'm saying? Constantly improving, trying to stay up on trends. So consistency every day, doing something every day.
Every day. Like
I want to interject. Do you have a successor?
Do I have a successor? No, I don't.
Do you plan on teaching somebody?
I do. I want to. I want to come up with some courses, but I don't want to do it the same way everybody else is doing. Because they trying to start off with you like like they trying to skip a step, like learn how to mix
Right.
when you need to learn how to record.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? It starts at the source. So you gotta take the first step to take that second step. You feel what I'm saying? So once you have that foundation, that base, then you can build on top of it. Because if you have a bad recording, ain't no mix gonna fix that. You feel what I'm saying? Or like, you know, like if you work out, you eating bullshit.
Right.
You can't outwork a diet. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, same
you
thing.
can't.
You know what I'm saying?
What's
One
the-
step at a time.
I know the artists, you know, I'm gonna think from a people perspective. If right now, if I'm in the music industry, what's the time frame? What you think about putting everything out? Maybe, you know, starting your courses or anything like that. Do you got a
Oh,
time
my
frame?
time frame? I keep on saying I'm finna start. Well, I'm always caught up with the mixing that I do. I stay busy with that. Like I don't try to advertise or nothing, so I stay really busy with that. So it's just about making time with that, and then balancing out, you know, my own work, and then I got, you know, other businesses, and then family.
Man.
So it's
The fact that you made that known, a lot of folks want to hit you up, Doc.
yeah.
Definitely.
But I definitely want to. You know, I've already provided like a free course on how to find equipment.
Yeah.
It's on my YouTube.
Okay.
So it's on it's Re Academy.
Yeah.
RE and then Academy
Okay.
on YouTube.
Man,
So,
y'all definitely make sure y'all check that out. And one question I got for you about, like, do you ever like get burnt out, like hearing, you know, just hearing, like, let's say I know you hear, I'm gonna get to it. I know you hear
go on, talk
bullshit
about it.
sometimes.
Yeah.
You hear
All the
bullshit
time.
all the time. So
Yeah.
let's say if you don't agree with the song, you don't agree with it, how you push through that still to make sure the best mix and you don't get burnt out, like. You know, because sometimes when you hear so much stuff that you're not inspired by, it can like deaden your fire.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
you know, like it's not really doing it for you. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
how you push through that? Being the engineer.
I try to make sure that I try to find something in it to a point where I would listen to it.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's super hard to do, you know, because it be some bullshit.
bullshit.
It be some
Yeah, yeah,
bullshit.
yeah, yeah.
But you know, then I think about my family. You know,
Yeah.
okay, I'm taking care of something.
Hey,
You know,
man.
for one, if it's really bad, that's what I think about.
I'm telling
But
you.
you know, there'll be times where it's all right. You know,
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
like, I'm probably like 60% to 70%, and 70 might be a little high, but 60% is pretty good.
Yeah.
Because my price point is different.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you set a low price point, you get bullshit. You set a high price point, you get better shit.
Yeah, get more quality because they care about it more.
Yeah,
You
they
know
care
what I'm
about it
saying?
more,
They
yeah.
put more money into it.
And
Exactly.
another perspective I can look at it this way is like, if, just say I'm a bullshit artist, hypothetically. If I'm gonna send it to you, I'm gonna expect you probably to correct it or give me some pointers.
I
on how
will
to
give
make
you some
things.
pointers. If you ask
See,
me,
a lot of times too, they don't know it's bullshit because of the people that's associated with around them thinking it's already, you know, legit.
Right.
So they go to that next step, like, you know, emailing you and going through the stages with you. You like, your ears are a little different. You got seasoned ears.
yeah.
So
Sometimes they listen, sometimes they won't. I will only answer if you ask me.
Exactly.
gotcha.
But if you send it to me and don't say nothing and you want a certain way, then some artists, they like it a certain way, even if I don't agree with it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it get to, and it's like maybe like 2 to 5% where they want it exactly how they brought it to me. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, why did you bring it to me?
Exactly. If you want to
Elaborate a little bit more on that because
It's called demo-itis. You heard about, you know about that?
like
So like so it's like, you know, you create a song at the crib and you listen to it like 1,000 times.
Yeah.
You get to a point where you like how it is. You can listen to some shit about 1,000 times. You're gonna like it
Right, yeah.
because you're gonna get used to it.
yeah.
So when it gets done how it's supposed to,
Yeah.
then you be like, man, what is this? Like, I want it back. Can you bring it back to this?
Yeah. Because you done heard it so many times that same way you stuck on it.
Yeah,
Basically.
yeah. So
Man.
So let me ask you this though. Doe B standpoint.
he was
some
easy to work
stuff.
with.
It was some stuff that was brought to you that have you had to create? I mean, have you guys had to sit down and kind of get everything right, or did you had to make some adjustments on some of his stuff as well?
He was really easy to work with. He was there was things that he just re-recorded that I didn't know he was re-recording. Like he had old songs and put the new beats.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And then he would just re-record it and make it better. And then it really wasn't any back and forth much at all. He's like, he trusted what I did.
Yeah.
I like what he did. Simple as that. There might be a little disagreement on like the song order on the mixtape.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, it's real simple. You know?
Exactly. Like that's why, like, man, a lot of times, like, man, when you an artist, you definitely gotta trust your engineer, because your engineer definitely he might hear something you don't hear. That's one of the biggest things. Back when, if a lot of people don't know my background, I really started out making beats before I got into entrepreneurship, got into making music. So when you first get out there, you gotta have people around you that you can listen to. You know what I'm saying? That you will listen to, because what you might think it sound good, somebody else might hear, they might hear it another way.
Yeah.
So when you got an artist that you can work with like that, and that take the input and listen to it, and then at least record it that way, like, okay, let me try it your way. You know what I'm saying? And then if it come out and it still come out pretty good, you know we do it. But that's the main thing I think, like, man, I had a problem with when I was working with artists. Like, man, people wouldn't listen. Like, man, if I'm trying to tell you I made the beat and it sound like this, to me, it sound better like this. Just try it this way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think with the young generation, man, it's a lot of time just listen, man, listen. You know, like sometimes people, other ears are what you need. And, man, definitely take that into consideration every time you go into the booth, man, because it's so much bullshit out here now, man. You know what I'm saying? Just be authentic. Don't listen to nothing else, man. Just try to keep your mind definitely on whatever sound you going for. And, man, just stay positive with it.
All right, I got one question for you, Bao. What advice would you give someone that's trying to fall into entrepreneurship or fall into being a mixologist and a thing like that?
Work for free. Learn.
Exactly.
You gotta sit in. Like, I had somebody call me the other day. I ain't call him back, but they called me and they was like, "Yo, I got a studio down here. I'm trying to learn. When can I come over and just watch you? You know, you're not offer the help. Like, you gotta offer the help.
Right.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying? You can't just come in there and like, this is what I want. It don't work like that. The world don't work like that.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying? You gotta serve.
You gotta serve.
You gotta serve first. You feel what I'm saying? And then try to soak up as much as possible, and then you know, learn as you going. You know, you might have to. I had to do it. Like, I had to intern, clean up the fucking bathroom. You know, clean up the studio.
Exactly.
You know, straighten up the couch. You know, mop the floors, all that type of stuff. But while I was in there, I watch.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, you know, I make sure that the owner or the engineer was happy with his surroundings.
Yeah.
And then he would be willing to show me some things. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, if you try to start out, this is with anything too, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
So you gotta learn how to serve people first. You know what I'm saying? Be a student and also serve and do your best. And also just be very humble about it. You know, you can't step into a situation where you're gonna be like, this is what I want to do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And, man, I say it all the time, man. You can't, anytime you jump into entrepreneurship or anything that you want to do, man, it can't be about the money at first.
Yeah.
At first, you got to get into that thing. You're going to bump your head. You're going to probably lose some money first. And, you know, like, and you got to just understand that, and you got to know that's how things going to be. So, you know, like he's saying, when you first come in, you just, hey, man, whatever I could do, whatever you need me to do, I could do it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I be like that even with my employees and stuff. Like, man, the first time when you sit down at an interview, as soon as you sit down, you asking about how much you getting paid. Man, how you gonna ask how much you getting paid? You don't even know if you got the job yet. You don't even know if we wanna hire you yet.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, go back to what he's saying, man. You got to learn how to serve first, man. If you want to get out here, you gotta want to get out here and learn from somebody. Like, just take, even though it might not be exactly what you want to do at the time, but everything is a process, and you gotta trust the process to get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, man. All right. So, what were some of the hardest lessons you learned being a businessman?
Balancing out that time.
Exactly. Yeah.
family time and work time. Cause like before, I'm in the studio 12 hours a day,
Yeah.
no time for family. So I just had to really get humbled and step back and
Yeah.
just learn how to like, all right, you gotta carve out both times. So like there's a situation where I went to France and met with a couple famous mix engineers, and one was Dave Pensato. Dave Pensato is like one of the all-time greats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I asked him this question. He's
Yeah.
like, "How do you balance out your time with your family and the work?"
Okay.
He said, "Oh, my wife left me." And I looked at him.
Yeah.
I
He
looked
was
at him.
dead serious.
He said, "Oh, Nico, you think he thinks I'm joking? Yeah, my wife left me."
Yeah.
And so, if you try to get to that other level,
Yeah.
you know, then basically he was saying you need to stay single
Yeah.
and just focus on your own goal.
Exactly.
So, but is it still possible to be on that level and still have family time? Yeah, because there's other engineers and producers that do have family.
Yeah,
But I'm pretty sure it's a struggle because I talked to Mix by Ali's assistant.
Yeah.
I asked her the same thing. Like, how's he balance his time? And she was like, man, he be struggling with it all the time.
All the time.
All the time. Because this type of business, music, and I'm sure, you know, in any business, it's
That's what I was just finna jump on. Like, man, I don't care. Like, man, if you want to be a business person, man, you might well go ahead. If the woman that you talking to, if she not willing to play second fiddle to whatever you trying to do, you might well go on. It's not gonna work out because I'm telling you, man, when you want to step out there on your own, man, you got to have tunnel vision.
Yeah.
And you got to be available. That's the main thing. You got to be available. And even when you're not doing, when you physically not doing the business, your mind on the business. Like you sitting there looking at the numbers, you looking at the trends. Like, hey, man, you looking at other people in your same entity that doing the same thing you doing, making sure your price is where they need to be. You got to do all that. You got to do the due diligence. You got a business person, man. You can't. It's hard to do it. Like he said, it's hard to balance it, man. If you got too many people like on your coattail, especially like if a female, you got a needed female, and then you trying to be a businessman. That's I'm telling you, it's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be an easy route for you.
And I think we make a lot of mistakes at trying to force the issues on a lot of stuff too, trying to make it happen.
Yeah.
Like you say, you know, family is so important. But also, as a man, at what you're doing at the highest at the time, man, it requires a lot of time.
Yeah.
It requires a lot of you to actually be there because, like you said, you didn't have a successor.
Yeah.
You didn't have somebody you say, "Oh, okay, man, I can take 2 hours. Hey, do this right here, what I taught you," and kind of, you know, a lot of times you don't have that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So at that time, a lot of times you just can't trust a lot of folks.
And that's
and
that's what's hard, like, man, us being men, because, you know, like, we were younger. Like, when I first met you, we were younger. You know, we probably had less responsibility back then.
Yeah.
But then responsibility kick in. Now, you know, your passion, you're going to have to turn it into a monetary, because now I got mouths to feed. I got bills or whatever. So as a man, you always want to provide. So, man, the pressure of that, just like doing that and then trying to balance the family, you know, because you want to be there. You want to be at every game. You want to be at every event. You know, you want to be there. But at the same time, you know, like, you got to choose whether do they need me to support them or do they need my time. So that's a lot of time as a man, that is one of the hardest things for us to balance, especially when you trying to get out here and make your own lane and you trying to make a mark on this world, because you're not going to do it being mediocre. You're not going to do it going half time. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to do full time. You know, like, that's why I tell everybody, like, if you want to get into a business, man, you can't go into it part time. You're gonna have to go ahead and set your life up to where you can take some time, pay your bills up 6 months. Pay your bills up 6 months. And then you got enough room that you can step out and take a chance and do something like that, because you don't need that on your head with, like, how I'm gonna pay the light bill. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still trying to do this. Like, man, I'm telling you, pressure is a different type of stress on all type of people, and we got to realize it, man. You got to set yourself up for the best situation. All right, Bob. We got a question on from Brittany McNair. She said, "When did you know you were connected? Develop a love with music. What age?"
I think I've always loved music. It's just it's always been there. I think when I started to take it serious was when I was like 15.
Yeah.
So I was with a friend of mine from school, and then there was a studio downtown that I worked at. Well, not worked at, but had access to.
Yeah.
And just fell in love with it. You know, just fell in love with making music.
Exactly.
So I just kind of just took it serious then, but because even before age of 15, like I've been classically trained as a pianist.
Okay.
So I know how to play keys and stuff like that, and you know, but that helped me with my fundamentals. With my love of it, like is when I wanted to create my own. So it's just a feeling, just like any, like you know what drives a person to play basketball or football. Like you gotta love it, and you gotta love it when the shit is bad too.
Exactly.
Because it'd be some bad times. Like, you know, I've been through, everybody knows I've been, well, not everybody, but, you know, experiencing death with dough.
Yeah.
You know, that shit killed me mentally
Man, I
for
know,
a minute.
man, because you know what I'm saying? Like, you had been working with him from the beginning, so,
Yeah.
you know, definitely.
I wasn't the first one, but, like, I was, like, one of the ones that, you know what I'm saying?
You had your hand in there.
Yeah, so
Like, man.
it'd be like that. But, you know, you got to have the love even when with the good times and also the bad to persevere through it.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So that's when you know.
Exactly. Because I know, man, I fell in love with music early myself, man. Like, just the way music can make you feel. You know, like, man, I remember growing up, man, my mom, they had a group, like a little church group. And, man, they used to go around, you know, the different churches and stuff like that. And, man, I used to want to play the drums. I used to want to play the bass guitar, man, seeing them folks rock the church and all like that. So I got like infatuated with music like at an early age. So man, like I always wanted to do music. So that's why like man, this episode right here is so hitting me so hard because man, like Bao just always been that guy, you know what I'm saying? He always been that guy that when he taught, you listen, you know, you listen to what because he done been where I was trying to go when I was coming up trying to do music. So, man, I hope it's some young music people tuning in and definitely, like, man, just to listen to him and just he could tell you, like, what he went through and how he got the way he at. And also, like, man, we going to get into, like, man, you went into some other type different businesses, like entrepreneur and stuff like that. So, you know, we could talk about different stuff like that. Let's see. Do we got any questions? Any questions like anybody got? All right. So what were some of the hardest lessons you learned? No, that's what we just asked, right?
No.
All right. So what were some of the hardest lessons you learned being a businessman? Like
Figuring out them taxes.
Exactly. With music, like being the engineer, like that's like a service type business. So how you have to do your taxes, set it up on that?
Well, that's one of the things, but like also with the music stuff as how to serve.
Yeah.
Customer service.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying? Making sure that I did my best every single time. Like that's that's my goal every time I work with somebody.
Yeah.
And so it just went from there, and that's how the word of mouth spread. And that's very hard to do. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's good or bad, always put your best foot forward.
Always.
You feel what I'm saying?
Always.
And then, but the other side is like the administration, the paperwork, you know, filing, you know, making sure you have the right tax accountant, making sure they tell you the right thing, and then you got to go and do your own research on how to, you know, write stuff off.
Exactly.
So, I mean, but
It was tedious.
yeah, I mean, it was interesting too, you know what I'm saying? Because like, you know, you can make the tax stuff work for you if you know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if the people that don't know, you know, you work a job, you get paid, you know, a paycheck stub, and you know, you get taxed on that whole income. You know what I'm saying? So as an entrepreneur, you know, you have gross income, but then you have expenses, and then when you subtract that, then you only get taxed on the net. You feel what I'm saying? But then there's other tricks you can do to knock it down. But then you got to be sure that if you want to really knock it down, because you might want to build some credit to buy something. So you want to show enough income.
Show enough, but don't show too much.
But it really depends on the goal. You know what I'm saying? So me not being here, like, I came back into last year because me and my wife and my child we stay in China right now, so it's been a lot of COVID stuff happening. A lot of lockdowns and stuff.
Y'all still dealing with that over there?
Not anymore, but at the time, around this time last year, we were just coming out of a 2 or 3 month lockdown.
Damn.
So like we couldn't leave our own compound.
Yeah.
But our compound is like really big, but you had to patch in with other people that lived in the compound to buy bulk food, water, you know what I'm saying, and have it delivered.
Dang.
So like, I wouldn't say it was scary, because I can work from the crib. You feel what I'm saying? So
It was unknown though.
it was unknown. And then the tensions between the U.S. and China.
Word.
You don't know what's going on. So I came home as soon as I could to, set some things up to where if we had to leave, we'll be straight.
Exactly.
So I lost my train of thought. But anyway.
Well, the hardest thing I had to learn, being a businessman, like the early lessons that I learned, man, is just learning how to trust people.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things. Like I had to learn that it's definitely not all about the money. Sometimes you gotta lose. That like as a businessman, that's one of the hardest things. That sometimes you gotta lose just to make it right with this customer. Sometimes, hey, I tell you what, you can have that. I'm gonna let you, have that. And sometimes that right there, just mending that, like, cause word of mouth is everything. Somebody can go say something to somebody else, and that could really hurt you. It really didn't even cost you. It really didn't even cost you number $20 what they were bucking on. You lost $20. So I had to learn that. Like, man, when you first coming up, you want to win all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to win everything. And as a business owner, like, you got to learn, like, it's not about the money all the time. Sometimes you got to learn to lose. And that's one of the biggest things I tell all young entrepreneurs. Like, man, when you first get out here, man, just be about the people. Be about the people. Like, man, make the people happy. You make the people happy, the money gonna come automatically. You know what I'm saying? All right.
We're gonna read one more here.
Okay,
See,
okay.
DJ George.
Yeah.
DJ George want to know how was the relationship with T.I. and Doe B situation after Doe passed.
That's dope ass.
The relationship,
Yeah.
it was just a business relationship from what it seemed like.
Really?
I mean, I know what was said when I got
Man,
that
you on
call.
Urban T,
Right?
man.
I don't
Get
know if
get
I want to
deep,
talk
dog.
about. There's so much to
Hey,
be talked
George.
about on that
Get
end.
deep.
I mean, George probably already know, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot. I mean, and back in the day, like I probably did some stuff where I exposed, some people. You know what I'm saying? But that's the nature of the business.
Word.
Snakes in here. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
definitely.
You stay in it long enough, you're gonna get bit. You feel what I'm saying?
Bit. Yeah.
So, I tried to be stand up as much as possible. But, really at the end of the day, it was just a business relationship.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing that was on paper. It was just like T.I. was picking them up, unofficially. It wasn't signed to him.
Yeah.
Doe was signed to the management that T.I. was, I guess, a part of. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, his management firm, he was a part of the management firm that was managing Doe, Kevin Gates, and some other people.
No,
So it's kinda like
Gates
sub.
had the same management.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like subleasing.
Yeah.
T.I. was in the sense. Like,
I mean, I don't know. It's just a lot of unofficial stuff that happens in the music business. So it's just like he just let him stamp Grand Hustle or what's it called? Hustle Gang.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like anything on paper where T.I. was making any money off him like that. But I think eventually, he figured out a way to finesse some things to get some money out of the situation.
Yeah.
So
Is there anything about that situation you think you would have did differently? Like, now that you look back at it, anything about that situation, when Doe, caught the eye of T.I., and all this started happening, anything, if you can go back, anything you would have changed?
not on my end.
Okay.
But I told him exactly what he needed to do. I said, you need to lawyer up.
Yeah.
And I don't think he did.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So, but I understand the situation why he didn't, and the situation of how he had to get somebody out of jail. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna mention any of that.
Yeah.
I should write a book on it, but I mean,
yeah.
it's just so much. It's a lot of stuff with that whole
Yeah.
Dobie thing. It's a real tragedy. Like, tragedy is like in the biggest sense of the word, it's a tragedy.
Yeah.
So it could change so many people's lives, including mine. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But it is what it is. You know.
Do you have a book? Do you have a book in the future?
I mean, I would love to write one. You know, I might have ChatGPT help me write it. You feel what I'm saying? But nah, you know, if I did, you know, it'd be on some audio engineering stuff. But you know, I mean, I could do something like that. But you know, I put so much time into it during, you know, and then after. You know, especially, you know, the rollout in 2020 where I tried to send Doe off in the right way because he was sent off the wrong way with the whole Red Beasley situation. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but you know, it just didn't look good. You feel what I'm saying? So I put a lot of time into it to where I think, you know, I should just let go of it.
Let go.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, is it anything like after that situation, you know, like now, you know, it's a pretty good bit of artists in the city now, you know, like anybody, you know, catching your eye, you know, catch your attention, you know, stand out, you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's always a lot of people that are talented. It's just a matter of just handling business the right way. And I don't think, you know, it's still, people just still ain't got that down pat.
So what you think? You think the Montgomery market, is it anything that you think we could do? Or you think anything that, you know, to get us more attention here, like anything the artists can do?
Just have your team together.
Yeah, you remember back a couple years, man. You remember we used to have all these different little ciphers or whatever, where, you know, people like, I think back then was like Boomerang. You know, all the artists used to come together and then, like, you know, just play songs and like new upcoming artists. I don't even think they do that in the city no more, for real, do it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, after that whole Doe situation, like a lot of the city kind of died, you know, with it. But I mean, you know, I know people are trying to do it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I just really think, you know, just having that team, you gotta have a team together to move forward, especially in music. You know what I'm saying?
In music.
You gotta have everybody play their position, play their role, because you know you can't do it by yourself. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a lot of people just individually doing their own things and not trusting each other. You know what I'm saying? So it comes down to the trust.
Yeah.
Right.
It comes down to, like, you know, being together.
Exactly. Like, man, is there any new like platforms artists can get on, you know, other than Instagram, you know, Facebook? Is there any new platforms that you think are really on the upcoming with artists get on or something?
I mean, the platforms are just the platform, like TikTok, you know, but like, you know, if you want to go viral and just be a overnight sensation, then you can try to do that. But at the end of the day, artists gotta brand themselves as a business. You feel what I'm saying? What's gonna make an audience like you?
Exactly.
You know, it does start with the music, but like you got to show other sides. Like, there's photos, there's video ops. You know, doing interviews, getting to know the artist. You know, artist has to be really creative marketing wise, and they got to learn how to market themselves as an artist. Like, what's going to make me like you? You feel what I'm saying? And you can't emulate or worry about the numbers at first and try to emulate them numbers that the big major artists got, because you ain't got that same budget.
Exactly.
These folks working with $250,000 budgets to, you know, $1 million budget. Yeah. So like when you first starting off, it's just a matter of consistency over time. Exactly. You can't stop. You know what I'm saying? Like I was talking to an artist that I saw earlier today. It's like you can keep going and you can go work out, you know what I'm saying? You know, 4-8 weeks, but you take like even a week and a half, 2-week break. You lose some muscle, you lose some weakness. So it's the same thing. Like you gotta consistently do this over time. You're gonna hate the work, but you gotta love the result. Yeah. And the result ain't gonna come at the beginning. It's gonna come way down the line. You know, some people be like, you know, you're a trainer, so you know maybe 12 weeks is cool, but you need to put in a whole 6 months to a year's worth to see some real results of your body.
Exactly.
And then you gotta, you know, it's not just working out.
Yeah.
It's, you know, you got to eat right. So it's not just recording music, making music. You got to get your image right.
Your image right. Yeah,
you feel what I'm saying? You got to get your, you know, interviewing game up to where you can speak well in the public to,
Yeah.
you know, make yourself likable.
Yeah. Because, man, your image is everything, especially when you get in front of, you know what I'm saying, the public or whatever.
Right.
So, like, man, is it anything like these new artists, you know, like the new generation now, do you think it's easier now for them to take off than it was, you know, 2010, 2007?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, the tools are right there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's just a matter of just utilizing your own phone and making the most of it. Because you can even record a whole song on your phone,
Oh,
mix
yeah.
and master on your phone with BandLab.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
do
So
you think all the technology that made these new, you know, the new people coming on, you think it made them, what I'm trying to say, like made them lazy? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's lazy. It just, you know, the technology always gets easier, and then you introduce more trash.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So it takes a little bit longer to find a little, you know, needle in the haystack. You know what I'm saying? The diamond in the rough. You know what I'm saying?
I already know, man. But yeah, man, like, so, man, as far as music, like, I can sit here and talk all day. That's why, like, man, I'm trying to
It's all
hold
good.
myself back from
Go
just
ahead.
talking about music, man, because I know it's so
cool.
much more, you know, I could definitely talk about with Bow, man. But like, that was my first passion, was music. So, man,
Yeah.
that's what I always been into. So, man, being able to have this interview with him and bring him on here is a big thing for me. He one of the first people I wanted to bring on.
I appreciate the invite. You know.
Definitely,
Yeah,
man.
no
So,
doubt.
you know, like, I always looked up to him when it came to the music. And, man, you know, I really don't never get back on the beats no more, but
I feel you.
yeah.
It's all, you know,
But, you know, you still making beats and stuff?
I want to just like you.
Yeah,
You feel what
yeah.
I'm saying? But, you know, we're busy with other things.
Exactly.
You know, I got all the tools. I got everything I need to do
Yeah.
to make with the beats, you know, all the programs.
Yeah.
It's just when I turn on that thing, I'll be like, yeah, you know.
Get the mix. Like,
Let me-
man,
let me-
I got,
let me
I got
do
3
something.
songs. to
Yeah,
do.
you feel what I'm saying?
You already know. All right.
But I always say that I will.
Call DJ George. Like, send him an invite.
Send him an invite. I don't know how to do that. Like,
Just gonna
all
tag.
right, that's all artist development, which I think is rare these days. Nobody wants to invest in artist development.
Right. So look,
Yeah.
I went to Motown. I got a chance to go to Motown and like just really learn the history of how Berry Gordy not manufactured, but like put his artists through a certain artist development that's not being done these days. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it was just really amazing to learn the history of how he did it. You know, as far as every artist comes out like, well, as they enter, they're just like a regular person. But when you go through media training, you know, vocal training, you know, the whole gamut of just presenting yourself as the whole package. You know, they created an entire package and then was able to sell that. You know what I'm saying? And they weren't even able to sell it with people's faces. They had to do it in a certain way to where it didn't show that it was a black artist singing this song. They made certain covers to where it kind of fooled pretty much everybody. They didn't know who was singing it
Exactly.
until later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but your artist development is super important. It's not being done. So you got to do your own artist development. You got to be smart enough to be able to figure out like, okay, I need to go to the gym. I need to look good.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's only one part of it. You don't got to start off like that, but
Right.
the music is number one,
Yeah.
and then 2, what's next? They want to see how you look.
Yeah.
So, and then 3, how you present yourself, how
Yeah.
you speak. You know what I'm saying? Are you humble or you got a fucking attitude?
Right.
Exactly,
saying?
exactly.
Word.
And
do,
then-
do you have any questions about deep fake?
Do I have any questions about it?
Yeah.
What you mean, like?
Fight for the music standpoint, because I'm hearing now.
Oh, yeah.
that, yeah, it's
Drake
it's
stuff?
becoming
Yeah.
yeah.
What you mean,
so-
my opinion on it? I think
Right.
I think it's scary, but at the same time, I think it's cool. It just depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
You know, I it just shows like there's really creative people out there
Yeah, it is.
that can make some really good stuff. It might not be all the way there,
Yeah.
but it can fool some people to where with that Drake and that Weeknd song.
Right.
That shit was hard.
Exactly.
But the lyrics and the cadence of the Weeknd's verse was not it.
Yeah.
But the Drake stuff was pretty close.
Definitely.
The beat was there.
Man, what?
So
Like that's why I was just finna say, man. What you think about all the mashups that they doing now? Like, man, DJ, man, how they did that Beyonce and put it on that old,
That's a deep fake.
yeah. Like, man,
I didn't hear that one. I heard the one with Michael Jackson that did See Murder.
No, it was hard.
Have you heard that?
Yeah, it was hard.
That shit was funny. But I mean, I think it's cool, but that's
Hey, somebody want me to ask, how is it working with Poe Mac? I already sent it to him.
Poe Mac.
Poe Mac. Yeah.
I don't even know who Poe Mac is. You talking about Poe Mac?
Hey, Poe Mac. He said he trying to figure out who you is.
I guess.
That's Andre. Andre asked the question.
Are they joking? Are they joking?
Yeah, hold on. We trying to get George in here. Yeah. See if we can get George in here. George got a couple questions he want to ask.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Ask me, is it getting him in here?
Poe Mac. I don't know who
Yeah.
Poe Mac is.
Hey, Poe Mac, you gonna have to let him.
Andre.
You gonna have to Andre Thomas.
Yeah, he don't know him.
Yeah. Hey man, you gonna have to send a song through or something. Yeah. He said it still ain't working.
So what was your most memorable session with Dobie?
Yeah. If you had to.
We was in Atlanta,
Yeah.
and Bigger Rank came up there. I was tired. It was like we did a whole week of recording. I only slept probably about like 5-10 hours that whole week. Some on purpose and some not by choice. But it was about the end of the week. And then Bigger Rankin came like, yo, I want you to lay this verse for me on my mixtape. Yeah. And then I looked at Doug like, shit, I need to go home. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, come on, man. 15 minutes. I'm like, all right, cool. He went in there, laid a verse down in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Off the top.
Off top of head.
And then we went home because I stayed at his house
at
that time. So that was one of the most memorable moments.
Man, and that's crazy. Hey, man, talk about something that I always wanted to know about when y'all had produced that track for T.I., like you was a part of that.
Yeah. With the plaque, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So how that fell into play?
So, yeah, I was, KO had a studio called Enterprise.
Yeah.
And so I was introduced by an artist named Venetra.
Okay.
And she introduced me to him at the time. And then first thing, when I first met him, he was like, oh, you got some beats.
Yeah.
And I was kind of thrown off. So I guess she said something to where like, I'm supposed to be giving him some beats for him to shop or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was a little thrown off. So I was like, no, I ain't got no beats, but I'm here, whatever. So we just chopped it up and, we started, making some records together. Like I might play some bass, play some keys on some stuff. And I went to Atlanta with him and, worked on some songs with him. You know what I'm saying? Some ended up making, I think, the In the Streets Volume 3.
Okay.
Wasn't credited, wasn't paid for it.
Yeah.
Didn't know.
Yeah.
But and then also I handed him probably 20-some, 25 beats.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? One of them was the Watch What You Say to Me beat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and at first I had a friend of mine record on it. His name is Rand.
Yeah.
And so,
Rand.
You know Rand, right? Yeah, you know Rand.
Rand.
Yeah. So
Rand. Across the river.
Rand Burroughs. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you feel what I'm saying? So he was the first one to record on the song, on the beat. And then, it got to T.I. some type of way or whatever. And, then I had a child on the way.
Yeah.
Started taking care of business. And then I just went and
What up,
did my own
George?
thing.
Hey, we got George.
Yo,
we got George in here. What's up,
Man,
man?
what's up,
What's going on? What's going on, man?
Urban T, man, what's up?
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah. Definitely,
Chopping it up.
Yeah.
Definitely chopping it up.
I need to come on your
y'all got
podcast.
found this thing, boy. Blau flew in for this one, right?
Hey, we had to import him on this one.
Man, I seen you over there at the Riverwalk, remember?
Yeah. Like, you don't even come to the U.S. like that. It got to be very special.
Exactly. You know, dip out now. You know what I'm saying?
What you got for?
I just got a few questions. I got some questions for Urban T, and I got some questions for Bow. Can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna do Urban T first. Thank you. Shout out to Urban T. I've been watching. I'm a follower. I watch y'all thing, and I like what y'all got going on. Keep doing it. It's very positive. Y'all be having great topics and great conversations. So I wanna, as a viewer, as a person who is in podcast, I like what y'all doing, so keep doing
Appreciate
it.
you, dog.
Appreciate that, man. We love what you doing.
Yes, sir.
My
Exactly.
question is, by you being a podcast, is it kind of hard sometimes when you trying to reach a large base and you know you got great material, but it's just not reaching the large base? How does that affect y'all when you going into the next episode after the next episode?
Oh, I think that's for
Yeah.
us. See,
Oh, you talking about? Oh, that for
that's
me.
for us.
Yeah,
Okay.
Urban
That's
T.
for
Yeah.
us.
All right. So, man, like, I really, man, honestly, man, the topics that we come up with, it really be like
Conversation.
like, man, me and his conversation. Like, man,
Yeah.
we'll just be talking, or we'll just be on. You know, he'll send me something on Instagram, send me something on Facebook. Like, hey, man, we need to talk about this. We need to touch about this. Like,
Yeah.
man, we already got like stuff for the next
Yeah.
one, like what we want to talk about. So it just really be like day to day, like stuff that we going through, stuff that we deal with, and then you know, by me dealing with business all the time, so I really just try not to talk about business. I really try not to go into it all the time. So you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So I really be trying to keep it as real and as raw as uncut as I can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Also,
y'all
you know.
topics be more like organic than
Organic.
Yeah.
scripted.
Of course.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
It's stuff that we dealing with. I'm talking about every day, or somebody we know dealing with. And then also, like, man, a lot of people been reaching out through different platforms, sending us questions that they want us to answer. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying?
good.
They want us to hit them topics. So it's like, man, we get so many now. It's like it's hard to even hit all of them at the
Right.
same
Yeah.
time. So it's like, man, we just be trying
Yeah.
to, you know, like, that's why, man, I love the way this thing is going, man. I love the people that viewing, that's listening, man. They really be tuning in, and they see that, you know, we trying to touch all different type of topics. We don't just try to talk about relationships and stuff all the time, man. We want to talk about, you know, be able to bring Bow on, you know, enlighten people on the music side, like what's
Right.
going on, like behind the scene, you know, what they need. Sometimes it might be
Yeah.
somebody need to hear, you know, like, so
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
you know,
I just
Also-
wanted to hear that
Yeah.
because you know a lot of podcasts they be scripted. They trying to talk about what's the top topics and they talk
Yeah.
about what you think about. So it's good that we got a organic and a genuine podcast that ain't based upon what's going on around the world and all that. So it's more educational and heartfelt
Definitely.
than just we talking about old girl who looking for a babe on the side of the road who got kidnapped.
Ooh,
jumped in the
hey.
truck and dropped. You feel what I'm
Man,
saying?
listen, you already know we
Yeah.
gonna touch that, man. You know, like,
I'm not
man,
even on my part. I ain't gonna touch it because
Hey.
I don't think it's helpful for
Yeah.
the community
Nah,
because everybody see the lies and all the bullshit in it. But anyway,
I know, man. It's just like we get that much publicity, and then we just like, man, you know, like, yeah.
I'm just mad she from Alabama. So
Exactly.
that's my last question for Urban T. Let me ask about the question because I don't want to hog up the time. About as a engineer, a lot of engineers want to be in that lane, but they really don't know how much time it is sitting in one chair in front of three laptops day after day. What's the most hours that you spent in the studio in a day or in a week's time?
All day, 24 hours.
24 hours.
Yeah.
You know, 24-hour shift, no problem.
And it wasn't no problem. It was, you know, it was some work.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta put in that work, man. You got,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It just depends on who it is or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just trying to be, you know,
Be the
be the best in
Yeah.
it. You feel what I'm saying? Just having that mentality just to try your best, and deliver your best, and be your best. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And then there's my one last question about I watch a lot of cats, young guys coming up in the game and they coming up with studios. You know, back in the day, studios it used to cost you 80,000 or somewhere
Exactly.
like that. Now they got the internet and they got these programs on these laptops, so it's kind of easier. How can young engineers such as you that want to be inspired to be like you, how would they get that perfect sound? Because a lot of them they just think it's the speakers and the microphone and the compressor. How would they get that perfect acoustic in the studio? Because I watched one of your reels and you was showing putting together acoustic. How can they get the best
Okay.
sound out of their studio?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just a lot of trial and error. Like if you're not getting results that you want, then you got to figure out why. You know what I'm saying? You got to really ask the client, like, you know, if you're trying to win them over, still try to work with them. Like, what is it that I need to be doing? And they might not be able to explain it. So you just got to really deep dive into yourself and be like, what's the problem? Like, how can I improve on it? Not be like, oh, I'm stuck right here. I'm going to just do what I've been doing. Yeah. And I think a lot of engineers be like, oh, I'm stuck in here. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Or they're just going to copy somebody else. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of like, what can I do to make my stuff better? You got to always ask yourself that question. Yeah. I think that's with anything. Like, how can I be better in what I'm doing? Exactly. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, just like me, you got the internet. You feel what I'm saying? And there's a lot of BS out there, but there's a lot of gems out there, too. You just got to know where to find it, know what to look for, and how to absorb it, and then try it, and then figure it out. So, with me, you know, it always starts with the base. It's always, everything is kind of relative. So, it's like you got to have a base. You got to have a foundation. Yeah. With the studio, you got to have proper acoustics. I can just look at your studio on a picture and know if you legit or not in like 2 seconds. You feel what I'm saying? So, and it's not hard to figure out. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of why is your stuff sounding like this? Because you're not hearing properly. That's at the end of the day, we all got the same type of ears. You know what we like and what we don't like. And it don't necessarily mean to have a trained ear at the beginning. It's just like you got to have the right room to be able to hear what you need to be hearing. And I've talked to you know other engineers to tell you what to do, what you need to be doing. You know, do they take heed? No. You know what I'm saying?
Because I've been to some studios and hosted some mixtape, and they just got them 2 speakers. They ain't got no soundboards. They ain't got nothing. They ain't got nothing for the sound to bounce.
It's also like not even knowing either. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, but if you doing something in the studio, it sounded really good there. You take it out to the car and it sound like trash. Then you got to ask yourself that question: how can I make my stuff better? Exactly. And you gonna find the answer if you dedicated to find it.
Man,
you feel what I'm saying?
I remember I used to do that, man. I remember I used to make, try to record somebody or make a beat, man. I used to go to the car about 30 times, man. My mom used to be like, man, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm talking like, man, let me get your key, man. Let me go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm talking about I tried in this car, then I go over here to the little bullshit car.
I've done it too.
Like, man.
You taking batteries out the car too, and taking them out the. You gotta switch it. You gotta switch them out.
So I'm finna make some sound. I'm finna make some noise some kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man. You got anything else, Jordan?
Nah, that's it, man. I appreciate y'all for inviting me on. I ain't never seen y'all do this, like invite somebody on like this.
Man, come on,
cool. Man, definitely. We gonna have to get
I'm
you
the
on
first.
Yeah,
man, come on, man. Anytime, G.
Yeah, you the first on the screen.
Black History type.
Exactly.
I thought I was
yeah.
Man, but it's cool, man. I appreciate y'all for inviting me on. I love Bow. I love what you got going. I've been.
Bro,
I got to chop it up with you, man.
Man, what, man? Like, hey, let me tell y'all something about George. When I first came to Montgomery, I remember, man, I'll never forget this. And George, I don't know, you might remember, but you might forget. But, man, we was on Vaughn Road at like a barber shop over there. And, man, I was talking to George. I was like, yeah, man, I make beats, man. I want to really get my beats out. George was like, man, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, if whoever you want to meet, man, just let me know. Like, bro, we can go over there. I'm talking about dog. He ain't know me.
He always like that, though.
Like, man, dude just been genuine from day one. I'm talking about it wasn't no like, hey man, you gotta pay me or nothing like that. It was just like, bro, who you want to get to? Like, man, that one thing about like, man, George. George always had that type of energy. Like, man, dude ain't never been selfish, never been anything. If he could help you in any kind of way, he always been like that. So that's why now, but anytime I call him, he does. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, man, it's just always been that. I always looked up to you, man. You know what I'm saying? Getting your flowers while you here, man. I always looked up to you. You always kept it 1,000 with me, not even knowing me and
a
just
real one.
Putting me in front of like different people. And I always be in debt to you, for that, man. I always look up to you for that, man. Like,
I'm just like, in order for you to university to come back to you, you have to project out what you want.
Exactly.
Like, if I want people to give me game, I got to give game. If I want somebody to help me, I got to show some help. Yeah. So in order to receive love, you got to give love. So that's how my mom and dad raised me. So that's why I treat everybody the same. And anything I can help you with, I'm with that. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna help you because
Hey,
I'm gonna
man.
need your help one day. I might not
Exactly.
know it. I might be walking down. I just had a flat. And you help me, and I'm
Man, you
straight. You
already know
feel
I
me?
got you. I got
That's
you.
all. You know what I mean?
And-
So, man, I
yeah.
appreciate y'all for inviting me on, man. Y'all
Yeah,
keep
man.
doing y'all thing, man. We watching. We gonna share. We gonna support it, man.
No
And Bow,
doubt.
man, you keep coming back to the U.S. and keep giving us that game, man, and helping us, man.
Exactly. Dropping that
It's all
sauce on,
good,
you know
man.
what I'm saying?
It's all
Man,
good.
the
Man,
whole
definitely.
like to be honest, I'm gonna say this, get out.
Oh no,
Bow had the whole city of Montgomery, probably Alabama,
man,
crying.
listen.
They heard he
Hey,
was going
hey,
to China.
hey, that why, man, I'm telling you, I asked him the question like what percentage. He being modest. Like, dog, y'all don't, I mean, people don't really know, man,
He
from about,
always modest.
man, what, 2010 to probably, what, like 18? You left in 18,
Yeah.
right? Man, I'm telling you, man, I know he was recording 80%,
Yeah.
90%. Like, man, it wasn't even official in the city unless you went to buy. I remember you could put your CD in the car and they be like, man, oh, that buy. I mean, you went to buy? like, I'm talking about he was that strong in
Yeah.
the city, in the
But he was-
music industry. And that's why, like, man, I don't know what the young people know, like, you know, like how strong the man is, but man, like, man, when
Man,
it came,
he a different. Bow is a different type of animal.
man, different
Bow
type of
will stay
animal.
in the studio for a whole week without sunlight. You feel me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He ain't going to no
Yeah.
clubs. You ain't gonna catch him at no restaurants, no grocery shopping. At
None
this
of
time,
that.
this was before he had the family. He
Exactly.
wasn't. No, You can't catch him
But
outside smoking a black or cigarette. Like
Yeah.
he's in that studio all. As long as you can say it's daytime and nighttime, he was in there. Like
Yeah.
It's
he didn't
Word.
play back.
exactly that, and then to show how strong he was, like what he said, man, he never went nowhere. He didn't go to no club, no nothing. But you knew his name. You
I think
knew
he had a bed or something in there, man. He had a bed, a condo in the back or something.
I
Yeah,
did.
man, he was
There's a
always
time
there.
point in time where I slept there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know, it's a lot of work that had to be done.
And man, people don't, and a lot of people see the success, man. But like, just you even saying like you slept there at one time. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
man, people don't even know what people go through to get to where they at. You know what I'm saying?
'Cause-
And that's why, like, man, you got to always trust the process. In any level you at in your life, you need to appreciate it because that right there is what's gonna mold you to be the next. You know, the person you need to be at the next level. You know what I'm
Word.
saying? Because you had to go and sleep in the house or whatever you did, you know what I'm saying? It molded you. So whenever you got the money and you got it rolling, you knew what to do with it. You appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But
Man,
y'all,
but thank y'all for having me on,
No
man.
doubt,
Y'all
George.
continue
Yeah.
rocking, man. We watching y'all, man.
Man,
Word.
appreciate you. Definitely. Yeah. All right.
Appreciate it, man.
All right.
All right,
All
bro.
right.
Hey, if anybody else ever want to jump on, man, just make sure you just hit us up and let us know. We'll definitely put y'all on here. Hey, Relina said we gassing them. She said Black King, that'll preach. But yeah, man, we probably gonna go on wrap this thing up, man. Bow, you got any ending remarks or anything?
Nah, I mean, I don't know. I would say like, shoot, if you're trying to do something, to try to be your best at it. You know, put your best foot forward every time.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta have tunnel vision. You know, be dedicated. Whether it's good or bad, you gotta love it. You know what I'm saying? But also, you got to learn the business side of things. You know what I'm saying? Protect yourself.
Know your business.
You know, with the LLC stuff, with the tax stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then also learn to invest in yourself, and also invest like stocks. You know, real estate, whatever. Because nobody's gonna tell you this type of stuff. You know, while you learning it, you got to just kind of figure it out on your own. I wish I had somebody. I wish I had a mentor to tell me that. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I tell people all the time, like, man, my parents never told me, man,
Right.
like, they only told me once you graduate, either you gonna go to college or go get a job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, I didn't even know about credit for real
Yeah.
until I was like 30.
Yeah.
20 or 28.
Right.
Like, man, in the earlier generations, like, man, how everybody's on YouTube now. Kind of just giving the game and stuff like that, man. Back in the day, it was only probably people on Wall Street that knew them type of loopholes and games and stuff like
Word.
that. So, man, we really had to learn, and for us to be successful now and be sitting here doing what we doing now is just really took studying, really took discipline.
Trial and error.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Really had to move a lot of people out your circle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, man? Like whenever you doing your tunnel vision, you trying to lock in and get to the next level, it gonna be some people you gonna have to leave behind. And you're not gonna be able to take everybody with you, you know, like so, man, when it comes to business and whatever you wanna do, man, make sure you be a student of it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you want to be the best at something, you got to be a student of it first. And man, I know today was kind of like more like a interview type process. But man, like it really just I wanted to highlight this man, just highlight what he done. And like if y'all, how can they find you on social media?
Oh, you can find me on Mixology. Actually, you go to my engineers website.
Okay.
I'm with engineers.com. It's engine and then EARS.com / turn me up bow.
Yeah.
If you want to book me for a session, you can book me through there.
Exactly.
Last but not least, how do you want to be remembered?
I really, I thought about that when I got that question.
Yeah.
And I really don't want to be remembered like that, to be honest. Like, I don't really care for the world's opinion. You feel what I'm saying?
Man.
I just want to make sure that I do right by my kids and my family to be able to build something for them or learn something from me so they can apply it to their own life later on so they can continue the legacy of the family. It took me a long time to get to that point.
Yeah,
Man.
You know
so
what I'm
you
saying?
kind of put the onus on the people, kind of.
Yeah, I mean,
feel about it. Yeah.
I don't really care, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, people say good stuff, people say bad, you know what I'm saying? But, like, I will say this, though. Like, if you're trying to, do some shit like, the boring shit is going to make you rich. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This shit that most people don't want to do, that's what you need to do to be able to excel in whatever you're trying to do. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? The stuff that ain't pretty, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because man, like this world, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. It really once you get to a level, man, and I feel like you reach to a level of maturity, like man, it's just like a lot of the dumb shit, a lot of the like, man, you have to just grow up and just have to just focus on what matters. Like what you said, like man, you don't care what other people say, man. It took me to. I said, in my 30s again, to where I didn't care about what people thought.
Yeah.
I even remember, like, man, like, used to buy all these type of designer clothes or designer, you know what I'm saying, because you care about, like, your image and stuff like that. And it's crazy because it's like the more successful you get, you start to notice, like...
You don't care about, I don't care about it.
Bro, I don't care what you think about me. Like, man,
Yeah.
you can think what you want to think. Like... And man, that self-confidence right there, man, is where you really learn to be successful, inside and out. When you don't care about people's opinion, somebody's opinion can't make me mad. I told a customer that the other day, like, man, his car, we couldn't have it finished by 6 o'clock. Like 6 o'clock, he needed his car, so we weren't gonna have it finished. So he was just mad, man. This dude mad, man. This is my only way of transportation and all this type of stuff. Man, I really need my car. And I'm like, man, like, dude, we can get you an Uber. We can, whatever. But man, you sitting here getting your blood pressure up for what reason? This car ain't gonna move. You know what I'm saying? So like, man, I just don't let nothing make me mad. I'm just gonna adapt, assess the situation, and make it happen. But.
Man, but hey, man, I really appreciate your time, dog.
I appreciate y'all, man.
Definitely
through your busy
appreciate your
schedule.
time. Like,
Yeah.
Good, man.
Definitely appreciate you coming on here. Man, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Hey, let me see what Corey said. Best project by ever mixed was the Dystopia by Yeezy World and Young Bad.
I saw that meme earlier. I had one tucked for it, but it's certain things I can't say on social media nowadays because my daughter's in a very prestigious school. So that's the only reason why I ain't post what I posted.
Yeah.
But just know I didn't see your meme.
Hey, yeah, Corey, you in, don't it?
All right.
Yeah, man, but hey, man, we gonna get up out of here, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Hey, peace, man. Urban T. All right.